It's true. You have been lied to. It is not your fault you are fat. This book here, Pure, White and Deadly, and this book here, got the Audible version, Good Sugar, Bad Sugar by Alan Carr, will show you exactly why you've been lied to, why the food industry has lied to you, and that is the reason why you are fat. So we've probably, if you're like my age, like 32 years old or around that age, you've been eating because you've been brainwashed into eating a certain way. Like, for example, with advertising, you see Burger King, you see McDonald's, you see KFC adverts everywhere. You go down there, you see like more Subways than there are healthy places to eat. There's so much convenience in food. There's so much advertising going around in food. You're getting brainwashed by this advertising constantly without you even knowing. And one of the biggest examples of this is, think about Kellogg's, right? The cereal brand. They came up with the phrase, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. That should be all you need to know to be like, okay, this is like definitely brainwashing. How many times have you even repeated this to some people yourself and said, yeah, I can't skip breakfast. That's the most important meal of the day. That was made by the company that sells you breakfast. Do you see how crazy that is? It is their own media it is their own marketing campaigns that pushed out this narrative that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. That's why you scoop up these Cocoa Pops or these crunchy nuts or these cinnamon crunch or all these different cereal brands. You scoop them up thinking that, yeah, you can't skip breakfast, but breakfast is just breaking your fast. Like, if you break it down, break, fast, breakfast. So you can break your fast at midday if you do intermittent fasting, or you can only have one meal a day, providing you get your calories per day. That's the main thing. So if you're a man my size, let's just say your intake is 2,000 calories per day. If you have 2,500 calories per day, you will get fat. If you have 1,800 calories per day, you will lose weight. That could be muscle and fat depending on what your macros are. But you will lose weight if you're supposed to be eating 2,000 and you eat 1,800. Eventually, over time, you will be losing weight in general, right? We can understand this is a fact. Having breakfast can be one meal a day, 2,000 calories per meal if you're a person like me, and you will maintain your weight. You will not drop weight. If you eat in the right macros as well, like protein, fats, and carbs as well, you will have like a good body composition if you ate in that specific way as well. But when you just blindly comply with advertising companies like Kellogg's or like any other company, to be honest, but like, let's just say with this Kellogg's example, that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and then you have breakfast followed by like 3 meals a day, which you don't need to do, and you eat more than you are supposed to. Like, that one bowl of breakfast could be, I don't know, like 300-400 calories, and you do this day in and day out for years. It's no wonder you're fat. It's because you've been tricked by food companies that market well and get to your like primal desires like best, because this is what their whole teams are designed to do. They're designed to like hijack your primal desires and then give you things that are bad for you, but increase their profit, increase their bottom line. This is not a conspiracy. You can pause this video right now, Google Kellogg's breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and you will see the articles like, yes, it was invented by them. So I'm not like talking rubbish here. So you're probably thinking like, okay, now what? I understand it. I've been like brainwashed. That's great. What do I do next? You just have to follow your instincts. Now, this book here, where is it? Good Sugar, Bad Sugar by Alan Carr. Excellent. Basically, I was eating a lot of sugar and I was like, you know what? I want to be able to quit this because I'm realizing that I feel like crap after eating sugar and I am not getting exactly what I need. I'm gaining weight. I'm not, like, my weight is fluctuating. I'm not able to kind of like pinpoint exactly where, like, what it is that is contributing to my weight. So I kind of like eliminated everything, and then I read that, or I listened to that book on an audiobook, and he breaks down how you've been brainwashed by media, by food companies that want their best interest to be put forward to you, and that is just basically selling you food that has loads of sugar in it. So McVitie's, all these like biscuit companies, Oreos, like you just want these because they're so addictive. This sugar substance is so addictive. At this point, it's a chemical, and I'll go into the other book in a second. But like, sugar is actually a chemical. It does come from sugar cane, but the way it's, you know what, I'll just get into this now. So Pure White and Deadly, this is this book right here. It breaks down exactly how sugar, like refined sugar, what we put into our food and into our drink and coffee and tea and everything like that, is actually made. And it's mental. If you hear this process, you will be like, that can't be like right, but it actually is. So you get sugar cane, which is, it grows just like bamboo kind of thing, or like corn, it grows in fields. You crush that, and you get that juice to make sugarcane juice, right? And on the back of some list of ingredients, you can see things like sugarcane juice, and it sounds like it's clean, but they're just legally allowed to put that on the back of things, whereas the refinement process makes it something that is completely not from where it started, which was the sugarcane and the sugarcane juice itself, which probably is fairly okay to drink in small proportions. But what they do to it next, what I'm going to explain next, is just mental. So they get that sugarcane juice, they boil it 4 times, and each time it's the steam that is collected that is reboiled. So you're getting sugarcane juice, you're boiling it, whatever steam is produced, that goes into another container, and that steam liquid gets boiled another 3 times, so 4 times in total. Finally, at the end, it gets into a centrifuge, which is basically what those machines you see are that spins around really, really fast, and it's used to split like blood and stuff like that. So if you put your blood cells, if you get your blood taken out for some reason, and you need to re-inject it or some such things like this, you will get it will get put in a centrifuge in like a little test tube, spins around, it separates the plasma, it separates the white blood cells and red blood cells, something like that. I don't know, I'm not a scientist, but like, that's what it does. It splits the blood into different chemical elements, and then that is the exact same thing they do with that boiled 4 times sugarcane juice, right? So you can tell already it's mental. They separate it, it goes in the centrifuge, it separates from the molasses and then some other bits, and then like the thing that we will then dry to create sugar. That's literally the process. So you boil it 4 times, you put it in a centrifuge, you split the molasses off it, which is probably the only good part of it, but that's gone like with the boiling process anyway. And then what's left is refined sugar, and then that dries, and then we turn that into like the powder sugar, or like the grain sugar that we get and put into cakes and put into everything, put into food, put into pasta, put into like loads of different processed foods that you can get in any aisle, right? Now, you need to understand this, because without understanding this, when you go shopping next, you will pick up something, and when on the back it says it has sugar in it, that's the type of sugar it has in it. It's refined sugar. There's no other type of sugar that we as humans consume. Even brown sugar is like that sugar, but with a slight bit of molasses mixed in. So it's just like mental. It's like, it's not any good. It's like that small little bit of a good bit of molasses that's mixed into it. That's why I say it's better for you, but really, if you look at it like from the grand scheme of things, it's not really better for you. They just stained it with brown, like the molasses that will come out of it. So it's just so far removed from the actual process. And now going back to what I was saying, like when you go to shopping centers and you pick up some food, you see on the back of it, it says sugar on it. That's the type of stuff they're putting in. So what you really want to do is ideally eliminate all sugars. And I've done this. It took, I did it for about 2 months. For the first 30 days, no, for the first 2 weeks, I did not enjoy the process. It was like, I got headaches. It's like withdrawal symptoms from drugs. I've never like been super like addicted to drugs like that. But like, from what I've heard, you get withdrawals, you just feel weak. You just get headaches. You don't feel like doing anything. You feel like very drowsy all the time. That was the same type of symptoms I was feeling when I cut sugar, which is crazy, right? So instead of going to the shops and buying things, like looking at the back of the products and seeing what had sugar in it, instead I will buy the raw ingredients. So if a product only has 1 ingredient, for example, a pack of broccoli, I can buy that. Chicken breast, I can buy that. Like nuts, I can buy that. Fruit, stuff like that. If fruit is a different kind of sugar, so I'll get into that a little bit later, but like fruit is okay. in like reasonable proportions, not in smoothie ways, because you can get too much sugar coming in through a smoothie. Whereas if you actually eat it, you get the fiber. You can't actually eat so much fruit during the day, so that's why it's good for you. I've just got into it, so that's why it's good. That's why it's good for you rather than the refined sugar that we're talking about. And so when you actually buy foods that are one single ingredient, you're only getting that ingredient. You can see at the back of it, there's nothing else added to it. Sometimes it may contain like bones or whatever like that, or nuts on certain things. But for anything that's not processed, you will see that there is no sugar involved. And that is what you want to kind of keep your diet to, like, most of the time. If you think about like the life we live now, we never had supermarkets that have this much convenience, or like delivery services that can just deliver food to your home with such convenience, like, ever before in human history, as far as we know. So it's just like, this is not how we are designed as humans to be eating. Like picking up a pack of Oreos or biscuits or like pizza, like the crap type of pizza, it's just like all rubbish foods that are like have sugar in it, that is keeping you addicted to that whole like sugar cycle. And that's what's keeping you in like feeling crap, gaining weight, looking like rubbish, feeling like rubbish, having like poor health, poor mental health as well. When you clear up, like when you take sugar out of your diet, what it does for you, you just feel lighter. You feel like going out more rather than just sitting inside. That's what these are things that I had when I was doing it for the last like couple of months. And you just feel better. You instantly drop weight, actually. Like within the first like 4 to 5 days, I lost about 2 kg, which is like significant. That's a lot. Then it started to plateau out, and it actually like came back to like normal. But for that first week in particular, I lost like 4 kg. I was 92, and then I went down to 82 kilograms. So it's just proof of the pudding. I should have like kind of recorded it so you can upload it to this video, but you know, I'm telling you anyway. So with all that being said, you know what the right thing to do is. You know you need to eat clean, you know you need to exercise, you need to get your sleep, you need to drink your water, and that's pretty much it. To live a healthy life, keep your body moving, eat clean, and sleep well. Like 3 pillars, right? But it's just like when we go against our instincts, we like, just think about it like this. When you pick up a pack of biscuits, right? Or a cake or ice cream or whatever it is, if you have something that you overindulge in, you're like, for the first bit, you're like, oh, this is great. It tastes great. It's making me feel good, whatever. But then very, very soon, and not much quantity afterwards, like if you have like 1 biscuit, you're like, all right, cool, put it away. But it's never usually the case. You usually have like half the pack or a whole pack sometimes, you know, if you're anything like me anyway, and have been addicted to sugar. But once you get through like 3 biscuits, 4 biscuits, 6 biscuits, 10 biscuits, there's a point where you start to feel like shit, absolute shit. You feel shitty because of what the sugar is actually doing to your body, and 2, you feel guilt and you feel shame. And that's the thing I want to pick up on. You know what you need to be eating. You know you need to be eating clean and healthy food. You need to be exercising, you need to be drinking water and going outside and sleeping well. When you eat sugar, it inflames your like your entire body. So you may feel sore afterwards, or when you wake up the next day, you feel rough. Whereas if you have a clean diet, you won't be feeling this way, and then you'll be able to kind of live life and be thin or be in the shape you want to be in, rather than just like being fat because of being brainwashed into being like eating all these crappy foods, sugary foods that have just sugar in it, basically. So that's kind of what you need to bring to your consciousness, because there's enough that like you've lived up to this point, maybe not knowing, maybe this is the first video that or first bit of information you've learned about this whole topic. Now you can kind of get this book, Good Sugar, Bad Sugar by Alan Carr, and then this one here, John Yudkin, Pure, White and Deadly, both incredible books, and just educate yourself onto what sugar actually does. And then when you go shopping next, it's crazy. Like all of your favorite foods, all of the things you buy probably constantly and then you know are processed, if you look at the back, it's got sugar on it. And that is the thing you need to run away from, and run fast, because it is everywhere. You need to buy only clean foods that give you like slow release of energy over time, and that is what you need. Like with this sugar, it's quick release of energy and then you crash. Actually, a sugar crash, right? And with any other type of food, like whole foods, lean meats, fats, and vegetables and fruits, these things you don't get a crash from. You can have, like, sometimes I've had 2 steaks in a row, big pile of broccoli, some salad, some feta cheese perhaps, and I don't feel a lag at all. Even though the quantity and the weight of that food was so much more, I don't feel like I just like lying there on a sofa and just like closing my eyes while I'm watching TV. I feel like, okay, cool, I've eaten, I can actually do stuff right now. And that's where you want to get to. So you actually, then after you do that, you go outside, go for a walk, go for a bike ride, X, Y, Z, so that you get into a good routine. Then you can become healthier, like long term, and strip all that fat that you've been brainwashed into accumulating. This is something that I've struggled with for my entire life. Like literally, as far as I can remember, sugar's been there. And now when I see like my nephews, and when I eventually have kids, I'm telling them not to eat sugar at all. Even with my nephews, I like do everything I can to get sugar out of their hands and like get them onto like more fruit or more like just different snacks, like actual food rather than processed stuff. And with my kids, they probably won't even know sugar until they're like can read and write and speak fluently. So like that's how it's supposed to be. But we've been brainwashed, like I've said in this entire video, like from birth, from breakfast is the most important meal of the day, in like whenever that was created, like I don't know, 60s, 70s, probably even earlier than that, to be honest. So hopefully this brings your awareness higher now of what sugar is actually doing to you. Maybe you want to do this thing, maybe you want to, well, definitely read these 2 books. I put links in the description below. And maybe you want to do like a challenge or something where you do 1 week without sugar, 2 weeks without sugar. I'd say go for a month, do a month without sugar. From the time you see this video, just like have your last sugar snack. That's great. Right after this video, or like tonight, then the next day start your no sugar journey, and then do that for an entire month. See how you feel. See how much weight you lose in the first couple of weeks. Yes, in the beginning you may feel some headaches and withdrawal symptoms like a drug, but then after that point you'll be like, you know what, I'm actually on this momentum. And going to like momentum, like a motion in whatever that phrase is, you know what I mean, that momentum phrase. If you're on track, you're going to keep on track. If you're not even moving in the first place, it'll take so much more effort to move. But once you get past that 2 week mark in this no sugar journey, it becomes so much more easier. And then you're able to kind of like keep that journey up longer and longer and longer. And that's where it went up about 2 weeks for me, and then 2 months for me. And then I think it was, oh yeah, it was my wedding. So I used this, I was looking into stuff, what I can do to kind of like strip down for my wedding and stuff. And then it was my wedding, so I had cake and stuff like that. That was the day. And then I went on my honeymoon, so I kind of ballooned up a little bit. But then I went right back to it once I got off the honeymoon period as well. So now I'm back here and I'm going as clean as possible. So definitely do this. It will change your mental health, it will change your physical health, it will change the whole body composition. And I really do recommend this type of lifestyle, because it's the lifestyle that we're supposed to be living, not the one that we've been brainwashed into living.